From international cricket star to Prime Minister-elect of Pakistan, can Imran Khan deliver on his long-standing promises to reboot his country's economy? I'm Eddie Taylor, and on today's Inside AB, I'm joined by Shayan Shakil. So Shayan, you're a Pakistani national. You've been spending time with other Pakistani nationals in the UAE. What's the general mood about this election win for Imran Khan?
Well, definitely optimistic. The majority of people are quite optimistic, but very cautiously, that has to be said. A lot of people do get the feeling that, many people have promised things before, but with Imran Khan, they have this man who they've always looked up to, has delivered a few successes in the fact that he won the World Cup, is one of Pakistan's only truly global exports that, everybody's proud of. And he's delivered, these cancer hospitals that really treat about the majority of their patients for free. And he's done something with the university out in a rural area that awards Bradford University degrees. So there's some achievements to his name. The thing is that he's untested. So people are a little bit worried about how this is going to flow through. And there's some personality quirks that come with a man like Imran Khan. He's very adamant. He's very...
He's used to success. I mean, sports people tend to be very single-minded and very determined, so his ability to compromise or his ability to kind of take advice and counsel, is that something people are kind of concerned about?
That's exactly what they're concerned about. They're almost wondering if this person is maybe a bit too hard-headed, if he'll just completely reinvent new schemes as opposed to, building on the work of some good work that the people previously have done. So that's one concern that has been coming out. But one of the other things that we've heard is that, Imran Khan's great ability has been in the past to assemble good teams.
Now, this isn't simply a celebrity election victory, is it? This isn't someone like Donald Trump who's used a kind of a public platform to express a populist opinion and then kind of get votes on the back of it. Imran Khan, yes, we all know him from his cricket playing days, but he has someone that's been engaged in politics before, and he's actually had some unsuccessful runs for this job previously, hasn't he?
He's only had unsuccessful runs for this job until right now. I mean, you could argue that 2013 was some success because he did win, his party did become the majority party in one province in Pakistan, which is the third largest electoral province in Pakistan. But, I mean, he obviously thought he had it that time, which is why he went on these protests and really pressured the government. Fortunately, the government did manage to complete its term, but Imran Khan managed to gain enough support for his cause. And his cause has been quite populistic this entire time. He's been, railing against the corruption of the elite and the dynasties that have ruled Pakistan since about 1971, barring those decades under military rule. So, I mean, that cause has now been taken up by people across the country, and the one big reason that has happened is because you have about 2/3 of the country is under 30 years old. You have 30% of the people between 15 and 29. So you have a lot more access to things like social media as well that is feeding into it. I mean, there's a lot of fake news going around as well, but there's a lot more sophisticated arguments going on.
So give us the backdrop. What are the challenges, particularly the economic challenges, which he's been very vocal about? What are the things that he's facing? And what are the hurdles for him to implement his program?
Well, but the policy is as yet unformalized. There is an expected finance minister that everybody assumes he was the CEO of Pakistan's largest corporation, Anglo Corporation. But from the outset, the few things that we figured out is he's obviously going to focus on education. In fact, he almost hinted that he wanted the Prime Minister House to become a university, which probably won't happen or might happen. I don't know. The two other things that he's focused on is that he's going to try to eliminate the culture of graft and corruption by bringing in wealth that he says politicians and the elite have stored abroad. So there's about 1,000 people out in the UK and 500 people out in the UAE that are probably really worried right now because they didn't declare their properties for taxation. And Imran Khan's government says, we're going to go after them, we're going to bring it all back. I mean, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif, basically went to jail on the same charge. So there's no reason to suspect that he won't actually go out and do it. The second biggest problem is the tax net. For a country of Pakistan's size, it's about the third fastest growing country in the world based on purchasing power parity of GDPs over $1 trillion, fifth fastest overall, has 207 million people, fifth or sixth largest population in the world, 10th largest English speaking population in the world. 1% of the population pays taxes, which means what is the rest of the 99% of the country really doing? Not supporting their country in paying taxes at such a time. So Imran Khan says that, of course, he wants to widen the tax net. It's a top-down approach that needs to take place. Now that is a huge hurdle because right now there's a sales tax, but it's disproportionately affecting everyone across the country. The majority of the country isn't, doesn't qualify for the tax bracket. So yeah, he does have a lot of complications in that regard. Pakistan raised, we have stats here, raised about $19.62 billion in remittances from last year in 2017 from expats abroad. It raised only about like $11.5 billion in taxes.
Now, not many Pakistani prime ministers complete their full terms, do they? So
No.
what is your expectation? Is he going to complete his full term? And do you think he's going to make a success of this?
No Pakistani prime minister in 71 years has theoretically completed a full term. I mean, there was one in 1977, I think, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who the Benazir Bhutto's dad. But he transferred power after being president and then completed his term. So he was prime minister for a certain period of time. So Imran Khan this would be another first for Imran Khan, a man of firsts. If you,
A success to rival the World Cup if he manages to see out his term, then would you say?
This is his biggest test yet.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done.
They flow. And so, if he manages to complete a full term, that would be a huge success. Will he do it? Well, he doesn't have outright majority in parliament, even a simple majority. But he does have like a huge, commanding position, so he can get a lot of things done. The one thing we've learned from Imran Khan is that he's a late bloomer, if you will. It takes him a lot of time. It took him 22 years in politics to actually become prime minister. It took him like retiring and then being called by the president of Pakistan to win the World Cup. So, the fairy tale script is on his side. Let's see what else is.
Well, it looks like we certainly asked the right person on here to talk about Pakistan. Thank you very much for that detailed rundown, Shay and Shakil. Thank you all for watching Inside AB, and don't forget to join us every day at 10 a.m. for more. Please subscribe and leave some comments below. Thank you very much.